Howdy folks, you're on the C8 CORVETTE 252 show. Scroll over to the right, click that subscribe button, and join this awesome community. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another episode of C8 CORVETTE 252. And I want to thank each and every one of you for pushing that play button and joining me today. I am grateful that you guys decided to join the channel. If you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. This is going to be one of the best ones to be a part of in 2021. I'm telling you that right now. Hands down, one of the best channels. So definitely smash that subscribe button right now. Anyways, I received a lot of emails from a lot of followers that's already part of the channel, and people asked me, what are the updates from 2020 to 2021 regarding the C8 Mid Engine Corvette, from the year to the end of review type of thing. And I had this car now since March 2020, and I bought it March 12th, and I really appreciate everything that they have to offer regarding the 2020 and the 2021 Corvettes. And so I'm going to give you guys my opinions about my car, and I'm going to give you guys things that have been updated and changed with the 2021 version compared to the 2020, and give you my idea, my thoughts on the car. And some of you guys are in the process of already getting your 2020 Corvettes because they might be on quality control hold, or some of you guys are in the process of getting your 2021 Corvettes or getting built, or they could be on quality control hold. And I received some text messages on Instagram of guys who already got their Corvettes, and congratulations to each and every one of you. They're a sweet rise. I'm telling you right now, Matt, your 2021 Corvette convertible is freaking phenomenal. Take care of that thing. So at the end of the day, in my personal opinion, since owning this car in March, granted with COVID, it's been difficult for me to do anything with this car, but I really appreciate what this car has brought to the channel, the relationships I have built along the way, and things that, so many opportunities that this car has opened up to for me. And one thing, there's the C6 right there. One thing I love about the 2020 Corvettes is how smooth this car drives. It's one of those things where, like, any new car should really drive smooth, but for a sports car that drives extremely smooth, it's a great thing to have. A lot of people ask me questions about how do you like the dual clutch. This is my first vehicle that's ever been dual clutch. And compare the 2020 Corvette to a Lamborghini Aventador as far as transmission goes. The Aventador literally is a single clutch transmission, and that thing slings you back and forth like this as you're pedal shifting. Now, I never driven one, but I've seen videos and I've been in a car with one, and it just throwing you back like this. And man, I appreciate the dual clutch a lot. Granted, the Lamborghini Aventador is my dream car. The dual clutch in this car is extremely smooth. Now, recently, I like how Chevrolet has the over-the-air updates. And so right before I got in the car, it told me recently that this car needs an update. And what you do is when you get in your garage or a set location, you push update, you turn your car off and things like that, and your car will update. Well, this update would not allow it to happen. And I'm starting to think that one of my friends told me recently that he just got an update for his vehicle, and he took it into the dealership, and it's a transmission update, ride that much smoother. So I'm interested to see what this update has to do. This has been my second update since owning this car that I can think of. And the very first over-the-air update was when a lot of guys and girls was driving and their front trunk was popping open. And Chevrolet assumed that it was because their key was in their pocket and it tapped the unlock button in the front trunk a few times. I have not had that happen. I have driven my car, over 75 miles per hour, hint, hint, a few times, and I haven't had the front trunk pop open on me like that. So with the over-the-air thing, now what I have to do is just hold the trunk button 1, 2, and then it will pop open. When before it's 1, 2, and it'll pop open. So that's one thing I like about the 2020 Corvette compared to the 2017 C7 Corvette that I own right now, is that the C7 Corvette that I know of doesn't have over-the-air updates, and the C8 does. That's one thing that I greatly appreciate that they added to the car. Another thing that you guys will appreciate, that I definitely appreciate, is the fold-in mirrors. Now, if you buy the 1LT, you won't get the fold-in mirrors. You will just have to push them in yourself. 2LT and 3LT come with the fold-in mirrors. For me, I appreciate this feature a lot because when I'm parking in close distance with anyone else, I'm so excited to be able to have my mirrors go in so that way nobody won't ding them. I don't really think about it as much, but it's one of those things where it's a great feature to have. And I feel like with the 2017 C7 Corvette, it should have came with that. I just feel like Chevrolet just kind of lagged off a little bit with the C7 Corvette, even though the C7 Corvette is a phenomenal car, and I speak for a lot of C7 Corvette owners. It's a great car. I enjoy driving it. It's a great car to own, but it should have came in with fold-in mirrors. Granted, you can fold them in yourself manually, but that's a lot more work. Another thing that I'm greatly for from the 2017 Corvette that I own to now owning the 2020 Corvette is that, you know, both cars are coupe and I can take the top off whenever I want to. That's the same thing that you can do in 2021, and I'm sure that Chevrolet is going to continue this process on through the generation of the Corvettes. I think that the convertible is great, but I think for $7,500, if you want to push that button, you definitely go for it. But for me, the convenience is just taking this top off on a nice sunny day. Now, has there been times I've been caught in the rain? Probably twice, and I didn't get poured on. I couldn't feel the rain, so I ended up just pulling over, taking me a minute or two to put the top back on, and I went about my day. So that's one thing I'm greatly appreciative from the 2017 Corvette to 2020 and how they're going to keep this going on in the future. One thing that I really like about my 2020 Corvette, as far as interior wise and driving wise, now I'm talking about things as far as driving wise in this first half of the video, is the rear view camera. The rear view camera is a great feature, unbelievable. One of the things that I feel like should be in every freaking car, because when I clip this and push it down, when I fold this, right now it's just a mirror. What do I see? I see the car behind me, I see my rear view spoiler, and I can see somewhat inside of my engine bay area. But when I flip this back, the only thing I see is the cars behind me, which is multiple cars. Earlier, I can only see the car directly behind me. Now I can see the cars on a broader scale, on top of seeing a small piece of my rear view spoiler. So I really greatly appreciate what this camera has to offer. Now, on the flip side of that, my friend, as you guys know, Brink of Speed, he has a C8 Corvette as well, and his mirror went out. And I wanted to talk about this because I don't know if that's a recall thing. I don't know if it was just his car type of thing or what the case may be, but it goes to show that things do happen with brand new cars and they're still covered under warranty. But having that rear view camera and being able to see every car on a broader scale works perfectly. And even when you're on a highway, you get the chance to see every other car right behind you. So that's another thing when driving this car you will greatly appreciate, because this car definitely comes with blind spots for sure. Even the C7 Corvette comes with blind spots. This car comes with a little more blind spots than the C7, but I'm greatly appreciative for what this car has to offer as far as drivability goes, how smooth it drives, how smooth the transmission changes gears. And the crazy part is I didn't even get the update yet. I plan to get it once I go in for an oil change, because right now I'm at 7,000 miles. I'm gonna need an oil change at 7,500 miles at some point. I'm greatly grateful for how smooth this car rides. Does it ride smoother than my C7 Corvette? I'll admit, yes, it does, because the C7 Corvette had transmission issues. Now, I'm not saying that the C8 Corvette never had any transmission issue, because it has, but I haven't had any problems out of my car. I am glad to be able to drive this car today, because it's supposed to snow here tomorrow, which we rarely get snow, and there's already salt and stuff on the road, so I shouldn't be driving this car at the moment in time, but I didn't think that one through. Anyways, I just want to make this video for you guys, because I greatly appreciate your comments and your emails, and I want to get this video out before it starts snowing here at some point later tonight. Another thing that I really appreciate about this car, as far as driving it wise, is that it literally hugs the road. So when there's a moment when I'm driving this car and I like to go around this nice turn or be able to hug the curve, this car does it extremely well because of the 50-50 weight ratio regarding this vehicle. There's nothing like driving a mid-engine car if you haven't had an opportunity to. And if you get an opportunity to, tell me what your thoughts are. If you already have driven a mid-engine car, leave your comments down below what your thoughts are with driving a mid-engine sports car. This car really is a lot of car for the money that you pay. I just left my friend's office, and he used to own a Z51, a C7. Now he owns a Porsche, and he can't wait to own a C8 because he loves how it looks, and he loves how the Porsche stuff drives. And I told him this car will drive just as good as the Porsche, if not better, for the money. Because Porsches are like 100,000 plus, and you might be able to get a few that's a little bit under $1,000, but I don't know if that's the type of Porsche you can compare it to a C8 Corvette. I'm not exactly sure, but those are the things I want to talk about within driving the C8 Corvette within the inside. Now I'm going to talk about things that you will love to have on the outside of your Corvette when you own a 2020 or 2021 C8 Corvette. So I'm giving you the kind of details and updates of me owning my experience of owning this car. And once again, I haven't had too many issues. I had the one paint problem in the front, but there's been a lot of other issues that people have had that I have not had. I don't know if that's because my car was an early build. I don't know if the Chevrolet took better care of my car. I don't have the reasons for that. I just know So I wanted to make this video so everybody can understand, like, every car comes with issues, but if you take care of your stuff, if you treat it well, you won't have that many problems. So with that being said, now we're going to talk about everything that's on the outside that I really greatly appreciate, from the update versions to owning my 2017 Corvette to owning the 2020 to what will go over to 2021 and future years. That's that exhaust right there. That's that exhaust right there. So anyways, so now I want to talk about a few things on the outside of the 2020 Corvette. I'm going to answer a few questions in the second half of the video, because a lot of you guys send me questions about the high wing spoiler and about you know, any outside noise that you may hear while driving a vehicle and things like that. So let me go ahead and get into that part of the video as we speak. So I have a lot of guys that are asking me about the high wing spoiler because they're considering getting this added to their 2021 Corvette. Now, for a lot of you guys that already own Corvettes who have the Z51 spoiler and the high wing spoiler, also leave your comments down below as well. When I'm driving this car, this spoiler does not give me any issues whatsoever. Like, it doesn't block my view of anything of that nature. So if you're concerned about that, because a lot of people's like, oh, I'm concerned about, you know, the high wing spoiler as far as would it be blocking my visual view or anything like that. It will not block your view whatsoever. Some of you guys ask me, is it harder to put things in the car with the high wing spoiler? Now, I will admit it is a little bit harder putting things inside a vehicle if you buy a 2020 Corvette that doesn't have the spoiler at all. Now, when you have to put in your suitcase or anything like that, you do have to lift up higher to tuck it inside of the vehicle. If it's something like groceries and you ain't have that many items in your hand, then you can also put them in the front trunk, which I do store a lot of things in there as well. So let me go ahead and open that up so I can show you how I kind of store some things in the front trunk. Now, if I bought groceries or something like that, I would probably put them in the front trunk. Oh, don't mind that C8 Corvette right there. But that kind of tells you how big this trunk is compared to how big this car is actually back here. But I would buy groceries and keep them in the front trunk. Regarding the high wing spoiler, like I said before, it doesn't block your view of anything, but it does make things a little bit harder to put inside the trunk if you have interest in putting things back here. Another thing that someone asked me about regarding this car is, do I hear a lot of wind noise, or do I feel the heat from the engine and the inside of the vehicle? I do not hear wind noises when I'm driving with the top on the car. Now, if the top is off and the windows are all the way up to the top, you will hear some wind noise. You hear a little whoop, 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 whoop noise. But if you crack your windows about a half an inch down while the top is off, all of that noise go away. So that's one suggestion I can give you guys who are trying to buy this car anytime soon. Now, as far as the heat goes from the inside of the cabin, you don't feel that, at least not that I know of. Now, for any of you guys who own any type of mid-engine sports car or even the mid-engine Corvette, have you felt any of the engine heat inside the vehicle? I have not. I feel like if you do, you may want to bring that up to somebody at a dealership. I do know with my 2017 C8 Corvette, if I was driving that car for a long period of time and I was driving it pretty hard, maybe not even that hard, the center console where the transmission would get warm. I wouldn't feel that heat in the inside unless I touched that, but I would know that it was warm because I did touch it numerous times. You can feel it underneath. That's not the same with this car. I can touch it anywhere down there and I don't feel anything that's warm. So I would say no, I don't feel any heat inside the vehicle from back here. I think Chevrolet did a phenomenal job of blocking off this area separately. They had the heat come through the top to keep you from feeling it in the inside. So I'm assuming, once again, if you guys are driving this car and you're experiencing any heat from the engine area inside the cabin, you might want to go get that checked out, because I don't feel anything, and most of the heat that I see and feel comes through here. And I'm not gonna lie, my hands are cold, so this feels pretty amazing. So those are some of the things I wanted to answer within this video. I hope this helped you guys out who's in the market right now to buy this car. I do plan on giving more updates and more information about this car as I'm owning it throughout the process of 2021, because, you know, I wouldn't say I own this car for a year. March of this year will make this car a year, and I'm gonna keep you guys any update, any issues I may have, or any concerns that you may have that I can answer for you regarding this car. So once again, if you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel yet, please do. I would love to have you part of the community. I am grateful for each and every one of you, and you know, be safe, Stay strong. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys hopefully at some events this year if they come about, depending on how COVID and stuff works. But once again, I love each and every one of you. Thank you for watching this upload. Leave your comments down below. Smash that thumbs up button, and don't forget to subscribe.
Is your seatbelt fastened? All right. Let's go.